Hey everyone, it's Cynthia, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my tips and tricks on how to build a capsule wardrobe, and this video is specifically aimed towards those of you who have just stumbled upon this idea or just don't know where to start. So I hope these tips are helpful to you. Leave a comment down below telling me your progress and if you want to add anything to this video, and let's get started. To start off, I want to take a few seconds to define what a capsule wardrobe is for those of you who might not be familiar with this topic. What a capsule wardrobe is a timeless collection of a certain number of pieces that's really personalized and dependent on the individual. So what that person's lifestyle is, what their personal style is, and what their budget is. And capsule wardrobes are usually composed of high quality pieces that the individual really loves. So these pieces must fit the individual well, the individual must absolutely love it, and it must be within their budget and their wardrobe limit. So now that you know what a capsule wardrobe is, let's get into the steps you can take to build your own capsule wardrobe. The first step is to assess and purge your closet, and that means all of it. So what you want to do is take all of your clothing and your shoes and everything out of your wardrobe and place them into piles. Personally, I had 5 piles, the first one being my loves, so the things that I am ridiculously like head over heels for, that I cannot let go of and that fit me really well. The second pile are my maybes, and these are the items that I'm kind of not sure about. They might not fit me quite well, or they might have some sentimental meaning to them, so they could be gifts, or they could be things that I purchased for quite a lot of money, or I just purchased and never wore. The third pile are my seasonals. So these are things that you might love, they might be maybes, but I do recommend that they're more on the strong love side that you want to put away for another season. The fourth pile is your donate pile. So these are the items that you can let go of, they're not really suited for you anymore, or you're just over them. And the fifth and last pile is your garbage pile, and these are the items that are absolutely not salvageable anymore. They may be really worn or have holes everywhere, and rule of thumb for me is that if I can't see myself giving this to a relative or a friend, then it probably goes into the garbage pile, because that means no one would wear it. One thing I decided to do in this first step was to hold a closet sale, because if you watched my previous video, you would know that I used to shop impulsively and I shop for the wrong reasons, and I ended up having a lot of items that I never wore, but they were in great condition and they were still stylish pieces, so I knew that there were people out there who would want to wear them. So what I did was I held a closet sale on Facebook, and it was mostly for my friends to look at these items that I had. I would definitely recommend for you guys to have a closet sale, because not only is it really fun, but it makes it easier for you to let go of some of those maybe items that you might have some attachment to, because you are getting a return out of it, and that return can also be added to your budget for your capsule wardrobe. Now that you've finished sorting all of your clothing into those 5 piles, take a second to look at your loves pile, and this pile should really clearly define what your style is. Don't worry if you don't have a lot of items in this pile, I certainly didn't, but if you do, take a second, because this can mean 2 things. It can either mean that you've already gone super far with your wardrobe and that you're already pretty happy with it, but usually it means that you haven't been strict enough on yourself when you're putting things into this love pile. So go back to it, re-tackle it, and really assess what you truly love. Now what you're keeping is your love pile, your seasonal pile, and your maybes pile. So put the seasonals away, maybe in a under the bed box or in your closet. Go ahead and place the clothing items in the love pile back into your closet or onto your clothing rack. What I would recommend for you to do with your maybes pile is to place it somewhere separate from your loves pile, and over the next 2 to 3 weeks, just take a mental note every single time you reach for something in that maybes pile, and whatever you've reached for, you should put it with your loves after those 3 weeks are done, and whatever you didn't reach for in that 3-week time, you should also donate. After this whole process, you should now have a wardrobe that only includes items that you truly love or that you reach for constantly, and although it might be a small number, this is a great starting point for you to start thinking about the things that you do want to add to your capsule wardrobe. So that leads me to the second step. Step number 2 is to document the things that you already have and make a list of the items that you want to have in your wardrobe. The one thing I truly want to emphasize for the second step is that you have to remember that a capsule wardrobe is composed of a certain limited number of pieces. Now the number that's worked for me so far is 40 items in total. Of course you can, fidget around with the number, but I think 40 is a great starting point. So it'll really help to prevent you from buying similar products or buying things that you already have in your wardrobe, and it helps to diversify your capsule wardrobe, because usually we are drawn to buying the similar things and then we overbuy in one category. So for example, I felt really comfortable in sweaters, and that's why when I went out to shop impulsively, I would usually just end up buying lots and lots of sweaters, and that meant that I lacked items in other categories, which is why, you know, I was also not really happy with my wardrobe. So this is definitely one of the things that you can do to really help you in later steps. This wish list will also make it so much easier for you once you're ready to go out and shop, because not only are you going to be in the right mindset and know what to look for, it'll allow you to refer back to the wish list when you're going online to kind of browse around and to just see what's currently available, and you'll be able to also compare prices at different stores, so you'll also be saving money since you are under a budget. So that brings me to the third step, which is to set yourself a reasonable budget. And I think it's really important to budget, especially for capsule wardrobes, because budgeting really makes you think about buying something before you buy it, because you'll be thinking, oh, like this is going to take away blah 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 amount of my budget, like is this really worth it to me? Do I really love it? Because you could be spending that money on something else. Your budget should be reasonable and should align with your wish list. So if you have a really long wish list, then you might have to give yourself a bigger budget, or you have to cut back on the items on your wish list. Like, it's really relative to what you want to do, and that's why I love capsule wardrobes, because they're just so personalized and there's just so many things you can do with it. So let's use me as an example right now, because that will just make it so much easier for me to explain this to you guys. But for me, I'm making a capsule wardrobe for back to school or for the fall season, but I also am lacking a lot of the staple or core pieces that I should have, like a white v-neck or a white blouse, or like a blazer and things like that, which is why I gave myself a bigger budget. And because I know that I'll be wearing a lot of these fall pieces in the winter time, I allotted myself a bigger budget, keeping in mind that I'll be having a smaller budget for my winter wardrobe, so it should all balance out. I think that's the main thing that you should keep in mind for this step, is just balance yourself. And if you have a bigger budget now, you'll just have a smaller budget later. So now comes the fun part, because now that you have a budget and you know what you want to buy, it's time to start shopping. And if you want, I can make a separate video of how to shop and, you know, how to prevent yourself from impulsively buying things, and to know when the right time is and when you've come across that piece that you love. But general tips is to start shopping about a month before the actual season. So for me, I'm going to start shopping for back to school and for my capsule wardrobe in the beginning of August, because by that time most of the fall items should be out and most of the merchandise that's available should be for the fall. So I think 1 month before the season is the prime time for you to have the most selection. And that's it. Those are the 4 simple steps you can take to start to build your own capsule wardrobe. But there's just a few things that I want to mention before we end this video. These are some of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind, because they're things that I personally experienced when I started on this journey. Sometimes it might be hard because it might seem like there's no progress being made, or you can't find the things that you want on your wish list, and it just seems like the stores just don't have anything that you like, and that's okay. I went through several months just going shopping and trying to find things to add to my capsule wardrobe, but coming home after like 5 to 6 hours of wandering around having absolutely no items. And it was kind of stressful because I was running out of outfit ideas, since, you know, my wardrobe was pretty limited because I already got rid of a lot of things and I only had about 10 pieces to play around with. Try to get through it, stay strong, because being picky is good, and if you allow this to get you to buy things that you might not really like, you're going to regret in the future, because that's going to be something that you're going to throw away once you do find the things that you love. So just stay strong. I know it can be hard sometimes, and it can be kind of a disappointment when you come back after really wanting to shop and knowing the things that you want, but not being able to find them in malls. And you know what? That's not your fault. That's the store's fault, because you're the consumer and you're willing to, you know, hand your money over, but they are just not up to standards and they just don't have the things that you're willing to buy. So it's their loss at the end of the day. Remember that your capsule wardrobe is your own wardrobe. It's yours, it's not anyone else's, so don't let anyone else tell you what you should have or what you shouldn't have in your capsule wardrobe. If your style is more on the maximalist side and you find that you love wearing bold prints and mixing statement pieces together, then that's okay. It just means that your capsule wardrobe is going to be composed of more statement and bold pieces, but you know, that's okay because it's your capsule wardrobe. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, that's a statement piece, you shouldn't have that in there, because at the end of the day it's yours. So, you know, just chill, just chill. I just want to talk a bit more about that 40 item limit on your entire capsule wardrobe. For me, that's something that I personally decided on, to have that 40 limit on my entire capsule wardrobe. So that basically means that the total of how many tops I have, bottoms, shoes, bags, accessories, and outerwear, it has to be within 40, but that's a number that you can definitely play with. I'm not saying that it has to be 40, you know? And you can always just take one of those categories out and not have them included in that 40 item limit or whatever number you decide on. So for example, if you find that you just really love having a lot of shoes, then just take shoes out of the equation. Or if you find that you always wear jewelry, or sometimes you wear a lot of it and sometimes you don't wear a lot of it, just, you know, take the jewelry category out. That's why it's just so amazing, because capsule wardrobes are just so flexible. There's no right way to do it. If you're worried that you're gonna get bored and tired of just having, you know, 40 items in your capsule for an entire season, for me, 40 item limit that I gave myself is for those timeless staples that should, you know, last for a really long time. But I also gave myself a 5 item leeway that I don't think I've mentioned yet. But yeah, so I gave myself a 5 item leeway on top of those 40 items. So all of the clothing items and accessories that I have should not go past 45 no matter what. But that 5 item leeway that I gave myself is dedicated to any statement or really bold, trendy items that I come across that I just fall in love with, but I don't think they are necessarily timeless. And I think that this is a great way for me not to get bored of my wardrobe, because I do, you know, get tired and bored of things pretty quickly. But for me, my goal is to have those 40 items remain pretty stagnant and bring them through every single season. I might, you know, swap out a couple of the shoes or a couple of the outerwear depending on the season. So I think I'll usually have about 5 statement items, and I think I'll be okay with allowing myself to swap out those 5 items pretty constantly if I do get bored of them. So that's one of the things that you can also decide on for your own capsule wardrobe, but it's all up to you, because that's what capsules are about. You. So that's it. I hope you guys got some helpful tips out of this, and I hope this will help you and allow you to embark on this wonderful journey. I personally know that I'm having so much fun with this. It can be stressful at times because I find that I'm not really making the progress that I want to make, because I'm just so picky with things that I want to buy. But you know what? That's okay. I've come to terms with it, and I'm just really excited to see my end result by the time school comes back around. So I know that it might be kind of difficult to follow along a video for steps and, you know, tips, and that's why I'm going to make a blog post on this to make it just so much easier for you guys to follow along and to, you know, tab it or keep it documented somewhere, so it's easier for you to follow along instead of just, you know, replaying parts of this video. So that will be linked in the description box down below or right here, so I hope you guys visit that. If you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comment section down below as well, because I would love to answer your questions and help you guys out. And also, if you want to just tell me about your progress on your capsule wardrobe, I would love to hear it, because I just absolutely love capsule wardrobes. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you did, and if you want me to make a how to shop for clothing video, or how to have a successful closet sale, or, you know, how to host a closet sale, then please also give this video a thumbs up, because then I'll know and I'll get those videos to you as soon as possible. I hope to see you in my next video. I love you guys, and bye!